Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Solo Diaries, or welcome if you are new here. If you are new here, the Solo Diaries is basically a series which I created at the beginning of the year, just like a little FaceTime catch up with my bestie, a solo diary entry to myself every single week so I can see the things which I've learned, my reflections from the previous week, the things which I've got up to, and basically just a little thing to myself. So at the end of the year, I can look back and be like, oh, that happened on that week. That was interesting. Or, oh, I went through this. So yeah, before we get into it, I'd be super grateful if you could like, comment, and subscribe because this really helps me out. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So this little solo diary entry, where do I start? I believe we are week 13, which is crazy how quickly the time has flown. Last diary entry I did was talking about my time in Bali. So I always film these like Sunday to Sunday. So picking up where we left off, of course, my phone had broken. I was like, I'm just going to live without this phone for a couple of days. It's not the end of the world. It actually did serve me so good. I learned so much. I understood how to be so much more present. Like my mind was just taken off of everything and it was such a refreshing feeling. Now, I spent one more day in the Gili Islands and then I actually was supposed to get the ferry to Bali, Kuta in Bali, near the airport, and spend one evening there, and then I was going to leave the following day. So tell me why I got scammed. The biggest scam, I was stupid to fall for it, really. Let me explain what happened. So I had pre-bought my ticket and booked everything beforehand, like my transfer from my hotel to the ferry port, the ferry ticket, and then back. It was all done. Now, it could be helpful for somebody else. This is why I'm going to talk about this. In case you do go to Bali, be wary of the scams. So I got off of the ferry, and of course you have like lots of people hassling you, like, oh, let me give you a taxi, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I already have my ride. Some guy come up to me and he said, oh, you're with this company. Yes, this is like the company I work for. Let's go. And then this is how they get you. And there was a part of me that was like, don't fall for it. It's a scam. But then I was so tired and I had planned to go surfing in the evening. And I was so excited for surfing. I was like, I'm not going to let anything stop me. Your girl has waited for this for like 3 years, okay? I don't know why I didn't book more days in Kuta. I should have really. But anyway, so yeah, this guy's got my ticket. He's like, yeah, I'm going to help you. This is the company I work for. But it's going to take 5 hours to get back to your hotel, even though it took an hour and a half on the way there, and it should have been an hour and a half because we have to drop all of these people off. Now, if you want to save time and not wait, then you can come with me and I'll give you a taxi ride. How much did he charge me? I think he charged me like 250k. It was like 20 something pound rip off. It shouldn't have been that whatsoever. And plus I'd already paid. And I was like, no, they never told me this. They told me it was an hour and a half, just like the way here. And he was like, oh, but it's different for the way home, blah, 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 like saying all these things. And I was like, do you know what? I don't have time like to worry about this. I'm just going to pay it and get on with it. Then when I went and met one of my friends in Bali, he said, yeah, no, that was a scam. It's like the biggest textbook scam. And I was like, oh man, I should have just gone up to the counter. So yeah, if this happens to anyone else, you come from the Gili Islands, you get off the ferry, just go straight to the counter, okay? Please do not listen to anybody that will come up to you claiming to work for the company because it's their scheme to try and get you to spend money with them. But I was like, it is what it is. I'm chill. I'm happy. I still don't have a phone, but I'm living my best life. So the reason I didn't book longer in Kuta, I think, like thinking about it, was because last time I was in Kuta, I had like such a terrible experience. I got so hassled. But again, I was in a completely different place with myself, my thoughts, my life. So now I've come back as this version of myself. I wish I stayed longer because I really did enjoy it. And yeah, let me get into it. I'm so excited to talk about this. So yeah, I arrived in Kuta, went to my hotel and I texted my friend straight away, like the surfing instructor. And I said, right, like I'm ready to come. And he was like, okay, come at like 4 p.m. So I went surfing and oh my Lord, first of all, it was nice to see him because it had been like 3 years. Secondly, I hadn't gone surfing in 3 years. And when I tell you, last time I went, I was out of breath. I couldn't do a push-up last time whatsoever. I didn't even have the strength to push myself up out of the pool. I had no strength. I was very weak. And this, of course, affects you when you go surfing because you need your full body strength, your core strength, upper, to push yourself up. If you're not familiar with the movement, you push yourself up, go to the side, and then you balance. Now, last time, as I say, I was so unfit, and even paddling back, I was so out of breath, and I wanted to enjoy it, but because of how unhealthy I was, it played such a big role in this. And then this time around, wow, like the feeling was just pure dopamine. It was incredible. And I did not get tired once. I caught basically every single wave. My first wave I went to do, I caught, and I was like, oh my God, I feel so grateful for this, that I'm able to move my body. And again, this was such a big wake up call for me to be like, wow, fitness has changed your life. Of course, I knew that initially, but the whole fitness, it affects your life in so many different ways, opens up so many different doors. So yeah, I was super grateful for this, that I was able to go surfing, and it was so much fun. And then yeah, I had a coconut, we hung out for a bit after, went on a drive like around the city, went to Canggu, I think it's called. That was my first ever time. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, we went, and it was just such a good day, such a good evening. And then I was supposed to fly at 10 a.m, right? The next morning to Surabaya airport, which is in Juanda, I believe, in Indonesia somewhere. I may be wrong about the pronunciation. Then I had a message come through saying your flight has been brought forward to 7 a.m. Now, because of the time zone difference, the flight was at 7, but then I would have landed at 7. So my connection to Bangkok wasn't until like 3 p.m. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't have a choice. I looked at other flights. I looked at staying longer, but the prices, it just wasn't worth it. So I was like, okay, we're just going to have to like raw dog this out, I guess, in the airport for like 7 hours. So I got to the airport. I was like, this is going to be fun, right? I've landed at 7 a.m. Then it turns out to go from the small airport into the big one, you have to like get a shuttle bus. This shuttle bus was every hour, and I just missed it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have an hour in this small airport. Absolutely fine. Had a coffee. Really super interesting airport though. Like considering this was a small one, they had smoke rooms inside of every restaurant, inside of every cafe. And I'd never seen this like to this extent before. Of course they have it in like Asia and stuff, but yeah, like actual smoking rooms inside of each place was like really interesting. So then I got on the shuttle, went to the big airport, and it was such a good experience. Like this is why I love life, and I love the universe, and I love things not working out, because there's always a better plan. Everything happens for a reason. Now I was looking for somewhere to eat, and most of the prices, they're all like around the same. You know, of course, like when you go to the airport, everything's 10 times more expensive. Now I walked past this lounge, and they was like, oh, it's how much was it? Maybe like no, it couldn't have been 200. I don't know how much it was, but it worked out to be £8 English. And it was a premium lounge with all you can eat buffet, all you can drink, and like co-working area. So I was like, can I stay here until the end of my like stay? Like I'm gonna be here 7 hours. Like I don't know if you have a time limit. They were the nicest staff I've ever met, and they was like, yeah, sure, like come in. They were so welcoming. I think it was called the Blue Sky Lounge, and I went in, and oh my God, it was fantastic. They had like, as I say, all foods everywhere. They even had a chocolate fountain. They had sourdough, croissants, fresh fruit. They had a mocktail area. They had iced coffees. And in my head, I was like, right, I think I paid £4 for one iced coffee. So I was like, if I drink like prior in the other airport, if I drink 2 iced coffees, then that is the equivalent of what I've paid for everything, in a really nice place to chill for 8 hours instead of just like the airport. So I was like, wow, this is great. So anyway, the staff are like fussing over me. I was the only person in there at one point for like 5 hours. And they're like, what can we get you? Can we bring you this? Can we cook you fresh food? I had like, somebody made me an omelette. Wow, I ate so much. It was so good. Like I let loose on all the reins. I was like, I don't even care right now. Give me everything. who cares about macros in this case? It was so good. And yeah, I had like a salmon Wellington, cheese and spinach, like just random bits of food, right? And they had a chef cooking pasta, nasi goreng, which is like the native dish to Indonesia, Bali. They also had, yeah, cooking fresh omelette, like a whole bar of someone cooking in front of you. And he was like, yeah, whatever you want, I'll cook it. I was like, okay. They just table service, bringing me over food. Can I have another iced latte? Yeah, sure. I think I had like 4 iced lattes. I was like, this is fantastic. And I just edited in this little cubby corner and played Sims. I love Sims 4. I don't know if anybody knows that about me from watching my videos. I love Sims 4. I've played it now probably for the best part of 10 years since it come out. I love it. It's one of my things. I'd love to make a YouTube channel where I do like Sims 4 Let's Plays. Like that's always been a dream since I was a kid. But anyway, it's a harder story. So yeah, the time went like that. And I would have had a whole day in there if I could have. The staff was so lovely. We got pictures together. They even wrote me a card. I've put it on the wall over there. And they all wrote their signatures in my card. It was so sweet. Like, thank you so much for staying with us. And yeah, I had a fantastic time. And then, of course, I flew to Bangkok. And then I had to get another flight from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. Arrived in Chiang Mai at 10 p.m. And let me tell you, I was exhausted. Still, obviously, didn't have a proper phone at this point. But by the time I got back to Chiang Mai, I was like, this is just like a side quest. Get me home, please. I got home, just like the usual, what you do when you get back off your trip. And then, yeah, the next day, I think I just got on with it and I just worked and stuff. Saw some of my friends towards the late week. That was nice. And yeah, I think that's literally it in my week. I just worked. I just did everything. I did start doing something really exciting, which I haven't shared yet. So maybe I'll share in the next Solo Diaries because hopefully it'll be finalized. You'll understand what it is. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. Yeah, it would have been that day. It would have been on the Thursday. Yeah, so it was a super interesting weekend when I got home. Just, yeah, chilling and, as I say, working, doing things. Sometimes my life's pretty boring. Now, I love it when my life's boring because I am very locked in with my diet. I don't feel the need to go out all of the time. And people say to me like, oh, you live in Thailand, go make the most of it. Go party, go do this, that. I don't feel the need. Like, for me right now, my main priority is building my business and my brand. And I would rather put the work in now so that I can chill out in 5 years' time. I can chill out at 27, chill out at 25, or even in 6 months' time. I'd much rather grind for 3 months, put the work in. And yeah, and that is me at the minute. So very same routine, same diet, same everything. But I'm grateful for this and I'm so grateful for this life. And yeah, I love this little trip. I was already looking at flights to go back ASAP, but this time I'm going to go to Nusa Lombok and also I'm going to stay in Kuta to go surfing. I love surfing so much. There's no words to describe it. Like I say, it was my first time in 3 years and yeah, it was just fantastic and I just cannot wait to go again. Now I'm questioning my whole existence of living in Chiang Mai, thinking to myself, should I move somewhere with a beach? I don't know. We will see. But yeah, also another hyperfixation of the week, as per usual, coconut water, obviously in a wine glass, living my little best life. And yeah, I think that is it for this week. A lot's gone on, but a lot hasn't. I feel like next week's going to be very boring. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this episode of the Solo Diaries. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. I will leave a link to my other social medias in the description down below. Also to my podcast. A new episode has been released today. So go check that out. The Realignment Podcast on Spotify. And also on Instagram at Sophclarefit_, TikTok at Sophclarefit. If you want to see more videos like this, then make sure to put the alerts on every week so that you don't miss an episode of the weekly Solo Diaries. It's going to be crazy at the end of the year, like 52 videos in the playlist. Wow. I wonder when I compare my first video to my last, it's going to be like a little bittersweet moment. But yeah, thank you for watching and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.